All right, so yes, we'll get started. So thank you all for joining. My name is Tony Liu. I'm one of the co-founders of InsurTech. You're also joined here by Aaron, our innovation manager, and it looks like Roy joined as well. So Roy is one of our strategic advisors, and a couple other people may join from our group. But thank you all for joining. Uh, just in case you don't know why you're here, this is an information session for the early stage startup competition that we are hosting. This is our fifth year actually hosting it. I can't believe it's already been the fifth time. And my guess is some of you have applied already, or some of you are thinking about it. And so this is really just to kind of give you an overview of what we do, and then really answer any questions you might have. I'll just kind of get started with the overview and then kind of leave the rest of the time for questions. Hopefully that works. All right, so I'll start with the quick eligibility requirements. This is definitely a common question we have, and most of the information I have is actually on the website. So I'll definitely lead you to kind of take a look at that again. But eligibility requirement is that if you're an InsurTech, that meets the following requirement. And there are really two requirements. One is revenue requirement. So this is an early stage startup competition, meaning you have to be in earlier stage. And then what do we mean by early stage for us? We decided that it's going to be based on recurring revenue. And so if you are generating ARR that is higher than 250,000, then you're not in early stage. You're kind of too big for us, at least for this competition, right? It's actually not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing that you guys are actually successful. So, I would encourage you to actually apply to our accelerator, which is we're calling a one-day growth accelerator. Both actually are also free, and we're going to have the applications open for that in May. So I encourage you to apply for that. But if you're less than 250K, doesn't mean you're not successful, but just you're earlier in the kind of process. And really, the goal of this competition is to discover newer startups who might need a little more marketing benefit and just kind of get their name out there. And that's kind of the purpose of it. And so that is a sort of a hard requirement that you are no longer not bigger than the revenue not bigger than 250K and ARR. ARR, just to be clear, ARR, just because you know what that means, doesn't mean you have to generate 250K like total in the past like year. It just means that as of now, that's kind of what your estimate to be by end of the year. And so 250K in the ARR converted to monthly recurring revenue would be, I believe, like 30K or something like that. So if you're generating less than 30K per month, great, please apply. And it has to be an InsurTech. And so we are a InsurTech competition. So you need to be a startup who are either selling insurance policies or helping the insurance stakeholders in the industry and using some level of technology, right? So that's kind of the requirement. All right, so now why do you want to do this? So why do you want to do this? The benefits, right? So the benefits are many. So I'm not going to go in the order of what I put here, but just kind of I have my separate notes. So first is we do have in-kind prizes that are worth 200K in value. And what do I mean by in-kind prizes? These are prizes that we actually we negotiated with different prize providers to provide you like really good service that you might need to have anyway. And so these are legal services. Many of you need to use legal service, and we have partnered with Lock and Lord and a few others who are going to give you like free legal service. Not free per se, but like they're going to give in-kind in-kind legal service. So it could be up to 5K. It kind of depends. Every in-kind provider has going to give you a different amount. It could be auditing service, could be accounting service, and EY. So like we partner with many of them. Also, many of them are also software companies who provide you like credits to their software. So all of these kind of add up to much more than 200,000. We're just kind of putting that as a number because it just seemed good. So anyway, that's one thing. So you're going to get a lot of prizes. And then you're going to get a lot of great marketing benefits as well. So, and then also a ticket. So there'll be 10 finalists who will be invited to speak in our spring conference. Our spring conference is March 2021. And you'll be actually provided one ticket, which is a $1,300 value. You're going to get one free ticket if you're chosen as a finalist. And then you'll be able to present in front of 400 plus people who are going to be in that conference room. And then that's great, right? So you're going to get a lot of great marketing event, also free ticket. And then in order for you to get to that stage, you're going to share your application with many judges. And these are just some of the judges that we're able to get. There's going to be actually more than this. Basically, there's two types of judges. There's going to be carrier broker judges. These are executives and leaders we know who want to work with startups. And they'll be reviewing applications. And then there'll also be investors. And many of them are either angel investors or VCs that we know invest in InsurTechs. And some of them are actually LPs or a fund. And so they're actually going to look at it and actually like really understand and try to understand what makes it a high potential company. And some of them might actually work with you, right? And so it's a great marketing benefit from that perspective as well. And so that's great value. And then we'll also review. So we actually have a venture fund, it's a C-stage InsurTech fund. And so we may look at your application and decide whether we might be able to kind of make an investment as well. And so, and then if you win, there's going to be press release about the winners, and you also get a lot of great benefits. So I don't want to just, just I'm sharing that, but I'll kind of back that up with evidence, right? So like what have the past winners done? So I can kind of go through some of these winners. So we started this 5 years ago in 2020, and we actually had 2 tracks in 2020. We had a growth stage competition as well, which turned into an accelerator. But these are some of the companies, right? And so Agilius is now Honeycomb. And when they won this prize, one of the judges actually ended up investing in them right after they won. So they were connected through this competition, right? And now they're like a Series A or B company. And ProSure CEO is still in business. They're doing really well. And then on the growth stage side, Matterport actually went public. And then at WeatherCheck, actually, they kind of changed their idea to a different one. And they raised a lot of money, like more than $100 million, if I'm not mistaken. And they're happy doing well as well. So they're all really doing well. And then 2021, we had Delos. They were one of the winners. They actually also got investment from one of the judges. And then now they raised Series A. So that's one example. And the other companies are still in business now, doing well. And 2022, we had Healthy and One Click Estimate actually win. And then GigaForce, we had this other prize, and they actually were finalists in the competition. They didn't win these 2. But we ended up, we had one additional prize, which we don't have anymore, which was like an InsurTech fund prize. And we actually ended up investing in them later on and gave them this prize kind of retroactively. And then 2023 competition, we had 2 winners. This one doesn't actually show the winners, just as the finalists. But 2 of them won. Kana won and us, Journey of Sports won. Kana won, and we actually ended up investing in them afterwards. And RedKick also got investment from one of the judges. So like, just you can kind of see the pattern here. A lot of the companies who end up winning or are finalists, they end up doing really great things. So that's really kind of the benefit. I just wanted to give you some examples. Now, how do you actually get selected? So the process is following. There's like multi-stage process. First is we would actually internally, our team will do a quick check to make sure that you do qualify, right? So you make sure that your revenue is below a certain number, and then you are actually InsurTech. Most applications are InsurTech, so sometimes we get we had companies selling tires, like it doesn't make sense. So we discard them, right? And then we share the rest of the applications to our virtual judge pool. Some of the judges you see here are doing virtual judging only. And so they'll review application, and they'll give us a score, and then we'll average them out. And typically we try to have at least 2 or 3, if not 4 data points for each of them. So you can kind of average them. And then the top 10, we invite to the conference. We'll actually also have a alternates. So there might be few startups that are in the top 20 or so. We're going to ask them to be an alternate in case the finalists can't come to the conference. In order for you to win, you have to come to the conference and pitch in person. And we have some situations where the founder couldn't come for whatever, so we ended up going beyond top 10. So that could happen as well. So, and then once you come to the conference, there'll be in-person judges. They'll listen to your pitch. They're going to get together and then decide who the winners are. And there's two groups. There's a carry broker prize and an investor prize. The judges, carry broker prize will be decided by the carry broker judges. Investor prize will be divided by the investor judges in the actual conference itself. And these are some of the past prize providers who kind of given us, and then there's many, many more. And that is it. So now I'll open up for questions. You know, it's not a huge room here, so.
Hey, Tony, we have a question in the chat from Alan. He's just asking, what criteria do you look at when determining the winner of the competition?
Oh, what criteria they look at?
Yeah, what do the judges look at?
Yeah, so we direct them to do the following. So for basically it's high potential. Do you believe that this startup will be successful? It's a very simple kind of question. And you know, we rate them, we ask them to rate, I think it's 1 to 5, and like 5 is high. And then we also ask them, what is your confidence level in answering this question? Because it could be like a, let's say, life carrier, and they have to rate a PNC startup, which we normally wouldn't do. Like we try to make sure we understand kind of their expertise before we share the application with them, but that could happen, right? In that case, everybody like, hey, I think this PNC car company is going to fail, and give them 1, but their confidence level is 0. Then like we're not going to actually take that into we're not going to kind of use that grading system. So we kind of use both. What do they think is the success probability, and then how confident are you in the answer? And then we kind of average that. We thought about asking all kinds of questions, trying to come up with matrix, but at the end of the day, this is very much subjective. And so, saying, hey, do you think this company is good or not? That's really it. And most of the judges, not all of them, have evaluated startups in the past, either for partnership or investors. So like we really want to kind of trust their judgment in this.
I have a question. This is David Baxter.
Hey, David.
So, based on the criterion at the end, so you know, sort of segueing from that, these responses.
David, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Can you hear me?
It's like in and out. Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I was just asking, is those final questions that you ask, are they shared, the results shared with the recipient?
Results show, you mean like the rating? We don't typically share rating, but we have done this in the past, which is we ask the judge to give a comment, a feedback that if they're interested in providing to the startup. And so we ask them for the feedback, and then we share that feedback to the startups, and we'll kind of aggregate it. We won't actually share who the judges are; it will be anonymous. But you know, startups have actually appreciated getting that feedback. So we have done that in the past. It's just like that process takes a bit of data gathering, things like that. So we can't do it right away, but like sometime later in the year, we can definitely consolidate and share it back to the startups if they're interested.
Tony, we got a few more questions in the chat here. Just one person was just asking for clarity that the prizes are not cash; they're in-kind prizes, correct?
Yes, it's not cash; it's in-kind prizes.
We also have a question about just some clarity on this. Is the competition meant for only startups in the U.S. or could operating in other geographies but headquartered in the U.S.?
Yes, great question. This is a global competition, and everyone is welcome. In fact, last year, out of the 10 finalists, I think 6 or 7 of them were not from the U.S. And 2 winners were not from the U.S. So Kana is an Irish company, and Oscar Sports Journey, it was from Mexico. So this is truly a global competition. What other questions do we have? Let me see.
Yeah, I've got a question. This is
Hey,
Paul
Paul.
Richardson. How y'all doing? On the requirements for the application, I just wanted to get clarity on. So we are a value add product for insurance products. And so I just wanted to get clarity, like, does that fit within the, because we serve them and we help create stickiness in their products
Yeah.
for the users.
Yeah, if you have anything to do with insurance, you're in InsurTech.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Fantastic. I just wanted to get clarity on that piece. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
And thanks for the Q&A. This is awesome.
Sure.
We just had a
How about-
question come up from Alex about opportunities for individual private investors who wish to help or judge or contribute. So I think just reach out to us or we can connect on that.
Yeah, just reach out to us and we can talk to you to see if it makes sense. Yeah. I think one thing I forgot to kind of mention is the application process. So if you go to our website, there is a link to F6S, and we decided to use them. We've been like on and off. Some years we use them, some years don't. But we figure most startups are familiar with the application in F6S. Typically, they have the account already. So we just figured it'll be kind of easy for you guys to use that. But hopefully it's straightforward. The questions we ask, very much straightforward, at least the questions we ask. They also ask their own questions, but our questions, we only look at our quiz. We don't really look at anything else. So they should really not take you more than 30 minutes. I would also focus a lot on your deck. Some of the judges typically look at one or the other or both, but like a lot of them just look at the deck. They just go to the deck and they look at it. So you have to create your deck anyway for a variety of different purposes. I would just focus on that. And then the questions, like, don't go crazy, like spending hours. Like you already, all the questions we ask are things that you already should know, like who are your customer, like, what's the problem? And so just, I would not spend more than 30 minutes or an hour on the applications.
Hey, Tony, we've got a question about the timeline, I guess, from submission to evaluate to invitation to be a finalist at the conference and kind of what that timeline looks like. Because I'm sure we always get this every year. A lot of people say for the conference, I need to plan. That's
true. Actually, we should have a timeline here somewhere. I don't know why we don't. The accelerator, but for nothing. Yeah. So the application deadline is end of next week, and then we'll take about a week or so to do our own kind of a stage 0 review, and then we're gonna give it to the internal judges, the virtual judges to kind of pick the finalists. And so our hope is mid to end of February, we'll be able to share with the finalist that you're invited to speak. Now, having said that, that may not be enough time. We actually want all of you to come to the spring conference anyway. And so I would highly encourage you to register now, and then we're going to give you like a discount code for you to do that as well. For those who end up becoming a finalist and let's say you already bought the ticket, we're going to refund you. So like either way, like it's going to work out. So don't feel like, oh, I'm going to wait till I become a finalist before I come. Like come anyway. It's a really good environment. You're going to meet a lot of carriers, a lot of investors, whether you make finals or not. And a lot of the applicants who didn't make finals, they've gone on to do great things. So, leverage our network, even if you're not a finalist. We typically have more than 100 applications. Actually, in fact, every year we had more than 100 applications. That's kind of our goal. And so we'll have more than 100 this year as well. And so it's only 10% make it. Also, as I explained, the judging process, it's not exact science. It's all subjective. So, don't feel bad if you don't make it. Again, many who didn't make it have gone on to do great things. Any other questions?
Nothing else in the chat. If anybody else has questions, you can put it in the chat or you can stay on here with us.
Yeah, great. Well, we'll stick around for at least a few more minutes if you want to stick around, and any more questions come up you want to ask, feel free to. Just a reminder, the application is due next week. Definitely try to submit earlier than later. And then, yeah, and register for the conference. So definitely come. That day will be a really good opportunity for all of you guys. So thank you.